War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, only one will rise victorious when the dust settles. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! Tonight we have a very exciting game of Age of Sigmar for you guys. Got to start off by giving a huge shout out and thank you to Games Workshop who sent us both the Beasts of Chaos and Gloomspite Gitz battle tomes early so that we could get it on the table, get a bat rep filmed, and we got a couple games actually coming out. But yeah, just want to say a big thank you to Games Workshop. It's thanks to them that we're able to produce this content for you guys. So we super appreciate it, and got one of the new heroes on the table today as well that we'll go over in a little bit when we get into lists. But then, as you guys know, we are working right now on getting our own Beast of Chaos army built and painted. We're actually getting it commissioned painted with your guys' help and support. So that's not done yet. We're still working on that goal through super chats and super thanks. So if you want to contribute, we appreciate it. But today we're so excited and wanted to get the army out. Obviously that we were able to borrow an army from our buddy Mike Simeon. So Mike, huge thank you to you again for letting us borrow this army. And yeah, excited to get our first taste of goblins and the new Beast of Chaos. But then Ryan, we rolled up a mission for today. This is one of the new ones in the new GHB, and we're playing only the worthy. So this is 4 objectives, as you can see, nothing too crazy scoring wise, just hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Normal battle tactics and grand strategies. The little twist to this one though is if you have a Galatian champion on an objective, only Galatian champions count towards objectives and only at 1 max. Yep. So basically if the GCs get on there, you gotta keep them safe. But otherwise, again, pretty standard here. So why don't we just jump right into lists? Ryan, do you want to take us through the Beast of Chaos?
Absolutely. So it's a little bit of an unorthodox beast list, if an orthodox beast list exists at this point, but I went with the new sub-faction Gave Spawn, and what that lets you do is take something called the Gibbering Congregation, which is 3 Chaos Spawn. And these aren't your standard Chaos Spawn, they're special Chaos Spawn. One, they're fast, they have a 10-inch base move, none of this random stuff, these are reliable Chaos Spawn. They also have a shooting attack, which is pretty good. It's D6 shots, 2 damage each, so they're deadly, only 8 inches. And then they also hit harder in close combat. But their biggest claim to fame is anything they touch has -1 attacks in melee. So
yep, annoying.
They're the ruiners of combat efficiency. So that's what they're here. One of the other thing is they're also, each one of them is a battle line. So you'll notice I have really no Beast Chaos battle line. I do. I have 3 Chaos Spawn. Yeah. So it's a very strange thing. Beyond that, I have 2 big blocks of 6 Zangor Enlightened on disc each, and they're protected or accompanied by 2 shamans. The first shaman is my general. He has the command trait that gives him a 12-inch aura +1 attack to all Bray Herd units, which they are Bray Herd, so very good combat boost. He also has an artifact that when he charges something, their strike lasts on a 2-up, which is fantastic.
Yep.
And then he also has a spell that makes it so you can't pile in, which is also fantastic. Yeah. So he's just great all around. The other shaman, he's kind of not equipped quite as well. He's just kind of a shaman hanging out, but he does have a spell. He does his built-in spell, and then he also has a spell that makes it so an enemy unit 1s and 2s to hit always miss, no matter what their hit characteristic is. And same with saves, 1s and 2s always fail. Not super relevant against goblins. They don't hit on 2-ups very often, and they don't have 2-up saves very often. But again, something like Slaves to Darkness, that's magic. I want to put that on Baron Guard all day long. Yeah. So that's them. I also have a normal shaman, a great shaman, and he knows a spell that target enemy unit takes +1 damage from melee attacks, which is just great. Yeah. And then he also has an artifact that lets me summon 10 Ungor, or Gore, but I have Ungor today, on a 2-up once per game. So he's basically some free Ungor. Beyond that in the list, I have a Chimera, a couple of Gorgons, and 10 Chaos Hounds. Chaos Hounds are quite different now in the new book. They're twice as many wounds, they hit a little harder, not quite as fast, so it's a very different unit now, but thought I'd give them a whirl. Other than that, I have a grand strategy to protect my scenery here. That's why it's hiding in the corner. There's, in the new book, if you haven't read it yet, probably haven't at this point, there's really no benefit to being near it anymore. Its benefits are board wide, so hiding it in the corner is actually strategically sound, which I'm not a huge fan of. I wish it still had a purpose, but that's where it is. It's in the corner so that I can...
So if I want to go turn off your grand strategy, I have to go far out of my way.
Exactly, and I mean, if you do, then you're giving up resources somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than like a late game teleport or something, I think it's a reasonably reliable grand strategy. So that's my army. I was in a warlord battalion, so I has a bajillion drops, because this doesn't function in a battle regiment, so that's me. Nice.
Well, for myself here with the Gitz today, going pretty basic kind of with my build, not a ton of different pieces, just obviously want to get my head around the new book, keep it simple to start with, and to jump into things, I'm playing the Jaws of Mork sub-faction. We got sub-factions now, so that's great. Or true ones. First makes my bounders battle line, and then also all my squids get +1 jaw attack on the charge. So I got 2 units of 10 bounders that will be taking advantage of that, as well as 2 loon bosses on Mangler squids. The first one is my general. He's got an awesome trait for +1 hidden wound on the mount, which is the important part. He's also got an artifact for +1 rend on his jaws. And then the other one has the Calamity Cowl, so he's a bit more defensive. It's -1 to hit. So that's all the squid stuff. I then have 2 units of 40 Stabas, who are just bodies on the board. When there are 20 or more models, this is the big bonus to them. They can contest objectives from 9 inches out, so there's just way more zone to cover. Harder to deny them, especially when they generally have large numbers. And they're still -1 to hit, easier to work that out with the nets now. And then I have 2 other small little heroes. I have the Fundoid Cave Shaman, who has the Hand of Dork spell for the teleport, still generates a CP on a 4-up, so he's a great little cheap wizard. And then I have the new hero that I mentioned, the Squid Boss. He's going to buff up my squids, give them some shrooms to get them hopping real good. And yeah, I've got a couple little buff options there, so definitely some nice synergy with all the squids.
Nice.
But all in, there have been a lot of changes to both these books, so this is really early testing, trying it out for both of us, and I guess, just first look, obviously with our own Beast of Chaos, we're working on getting a big range of models done, so gonna be able to have some more flexibility when all that's done painted. Again, appreciate anyone that can support us in that way or help out with that. But either way, I had a command entourage and a battle regiment here, so I did outdrop you, Ryan. And I'm just so excited to see the Beast of Chaos.
You're gonna make me go
I'm gonna let you go first.
I kind of figured that was happening.
Yeah, we'll jump into Beast of Chaos, turn 1.
Rampaging through sacred lands, the Beast of Chaos battle tactic is desecrate their land. The Zangor general fails heroic leadership, while the loon boss on Mangler succeeds. The shamans use Brand of Wild Fury, then Alpha Beast Instinct on the Warhounds. The shamans then fail to cast Mystic Shield and have Arcane Bolt unbound. Trying to bait the little greenskins, the Beasts of Chaos complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Alright, so my turn's up. As you've noticed, I've moved forward with such aggressive power. For a couple reasons, I held back. One, this army just can't take a punch, so moving up and facing a potential double turn, I'd probably get tabled if that happens. Yeah. And then the other reason is in the new Beast book, as the turn goes on, your whole army gets more and more rend because of this thing.
Yep. Second and fourth battle rounds, right? You get an additional rend.
So yeah, we don't want to fight on turn 1. So all I did was I kind of moved things around here, shuffled a bit based on his positioning and stuff, and then the dogs did move forward and take an objective just so I could max my score out. I did desecrate on this because the territories go all the way to the middle. So got my battle tactic, got hold 1, hold 2, hold more, so I got my full 5, which is good. Magic phase was really inconsequential. I failed Mystic Shield, and then I succeeded in Arcane Bolt, but someone unbound it. And all my other spells are out of range, so not really relevant right now. I did do a couple of the new Beast heroic actions, hurt some dogs. The 2 I did was one, I now have a 12-inch aura of a 6-up ward coming from this guy right here. And then the other one is I made these guys immune to battle shock on the off chance they somehow survive whatever.
Combat if I go into them, Yep.
And that was pretty much my turn. It's excellent from a scoring perspective, but I'm just
very tame.
waiting.
Yeah, exactly that. And notable that obviously with all the Zendor especially, you have a ton of speed, so sitting back, you have a massive threat range with them, so
exactly.
you can be pretty safe.
I could, if I wanted, just gone headlong into both units of Grots, and I probably would have messed them up. And then you would have traded, and I would have been in deep trouble.
Yeah, so the smart tactical choice. Let's see what goblins do, though. Going into Gloomspite Gitz, turn 1.
Yep.
As the moon shines over a part of the battlefield, the Gloomspite battle tactic is Moonlight Raid. The Loon Boss and Zangor Shaman both fail heroic leadership. The Fungoid Cave Shaman casts Hand of Gork, but is unbound. Just Hand of Gork, not Great Big Green Hand. Alright. The Squig Boss uses Sprouting Moon on the Bounders. Are they really doing shrooms? Nice. The Warhounds redeploy, moving 3 inches. The Bounders deal 5 mortals on impact, and the first Loon Boss deals 2 mortals. The second Loon Boss on Mangler uses Forward to Victory, but fails his charge. Too many shrooms. The Loon Boss uses Giant Boing and bounces 8 inches. The Enlighten uses all-out defense as the Loon Boss attacks, dealing 10 damage to them. The Warhounds attack, dealing 2 damage in total. Fighting next, the Bounders trample over the Warhounds. The Loon Boss uses all-out defense as the Enlightened attack and deal 8 damage. Bouncing right across the battlefield, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
All right, Gitz turn 1, polar opposite of those cowardly beasts of chaos, standing back, not wanting to get into the fight. I rolled some big moves and runs and charges, so I figured why not? Let's just go for it. But there is actually value. Why I did do the destruction thing and charge a lot of units. There's value to getting in early, being the one hitting the Beast of Chaos, potentially also capitalizing on hopefully a double turn or the opportunity for one. And then as well getting in before you get that super high rend. So there's definitely value in being like the one to hit first. Now, if I had have actually got my teleport spell off, I wanted to have 2 big 40 blocks of goblins here, and then I probably would have screened out and kind of just zoned out and let you come into my Gitz.
But I rolled an 11. So.
Yeah, you just dispelled just unbound my teleport, so I didn't get that. So, yeah, saw some opportunities and went for them, and that's about it. I did 3 objectives here, though. My battle tactic was great, taking an objective that you control, and the now only 1 unit contesting it is Holy Under the Bad Moon, so that's a nice, an easy one. So nice, happy with that, and sets us up for a turn 2 priority roll here, Ryan.
Scary.
That's a 6.
Guess I'm getting.
Oh!
I got a 6 too. I'm so taking it.
Okay, that's
I'm not
disappointing for the goblins. But we'll go into Beasts of Chaos, turn 2.
With their enemies so close, the Beasts of Chaos battle tactic is reduced to savagery. The Shaman fails heroic leadership, and the reserved lone boss uses their finest hour. The Zangor Shaman uses Brand of Wild Fury, and the Bray Shaman's Warping Curse kills the Loon Boss General. The Bray Shaman casts Wild Rampage on the Gorgon. The Shamans fail Tendrils of Atrophy, but cast Vicious Stranglehorns on the Bounders. The Loon Boss redeploys, moving 3 inches. The Chimera shoots at the Stabas, killing 3. The Gorgon roars at the Bounders while the Loon Boss fails his roar. The Gorgon attacks, dealing 9 damage to the Bounders. Forgetting to shoot, the Morgrit spawn deals 2 damage to the Bounders and 6 to the Stabas. The Enlighten use all-out attack, and the Loon Boss defends, suffering 11 damage. While having made the Loon Boss fight last with Slitherrack Helm, the Zangor Shaman deals no damage. Same with the spawn. The Loon Boss fights back, dealing 6 damage to the Enlighten. The Bounders use Inspiring Presence, and 10 Stabas flee from Battle Shock. Now on the attack, the Beasts of Chaos complete their battle tactic and score 4 points.
All right, my team turn is up. It went okay. I wouldn't say it went exceptional. I made a couple mistakes, but I think it still went okay. Gorgon walked up here, beat the crap out of a bunch of these guys. Yep. My Zangor, I had locked him in combat just in case he got the double, but because of that, I walked up, beat up a bunch, and he pulled him out of combat, so the Zangor did nothing, but they're hanging out. They're going to be a countercharge later. This spawn spat on them, killed a guy, and then beat him up with some more. So
Didn't even beat him up, just kept him tagged.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he kept them tagged. So that unit is kind of in an awkward spot right now. Then over on this side of the board, I put the Exploding Sixes buff on this guy with the expectation of charging into the Mangler Squig, but then you redeployed to make it a really long charge. This was a mistake. I should have put the Exploding Sixes on the Zangor.
You were originally planning to hold them back.
I was planning to hold them back, but I figured he was vulnerable. He did finest hour. He was pretty tanky, but I thought I had lots of punch. It's time to get rid of him.
Nearly did it.
Quite kill him.
Yep.
It was
-1 to hit.
Yep. Yeah, you made a couple of good saves, and he's got like 2 wounds left or 3 wounds left. But that's okay. Spawn spat on these goblins, which ended up causing a battle shock, which killed quite a few of them. The Chimera zapped those guys, which again caused a battle shock. More ran away from the battle shock.
Bravery 4.
It was fantastic. My battle tactic was nuke something with one of the new heroic actions. He did have a Mangler Squig here. I did the D6 damage heroic action and just nuked him. I rolled a 6. So he's just gone.
Yeah, that was sad.
So I got my battle tactic, and I'm holding one. I could not hold more because both of these have giant units of goblins on them.
And noteworthy that the Beasts of Chaos heroic actions are in addition to the normal heroic action. So it's like basically abilities.
Yeah,
could just call them abilities.
But they slowly hurt me, as you can see. All my heroes here are slowly hurting themselves. But overall, I think it was an okay turn. I'm falling behind points-wise, but I think the end game favors me because I keep getting stronger and stronger.
Hey, my goblins can come back too.
That's true. But anyways, yeah, that's my turn.
Sounds good. All right. And yeah, so we'll just jump into a Gloomspite Gitz, turn 2.
Nice.
With the moon holding position, the Gloomspite battle tactic is stab 'em in the dark. Ooh, creepy. The Loon Boss uses heroic leadership, and the Brave Shaman heroically recovers 1 wound. The Squig Boss uses Yellow Lurka on the Bounders, and the Fungoid casts Mystic Shield on them. The Zangar Shaman redeploys, moving 6 inches. The Bounders deal 8 damage on impact and take out the spawn. The Loon Boss uses Bite the Moon, oh my god, and the Bounders all out attack and take out the Enlightened. Quick and effective, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
The Bounders strike back. So turn 2 for the Gitz was pretty solid, all things considered. You still got a lot of big threats, and we both have a decent number of threats. We both have some units that are limping a little bit. So even in that regard with killing stuff and trading, but one of the big things is I do have a lot of goblins storing me objectives right now. So
which is a problem for me.
Yeah, so I'm up on the scoreboard now, which is sweet. I retreated out my Mangler to get me, or just to be alive and start healing, hopefully. And my Bounder started,
Bounding.
Yeah, bounding, lifted a unit of Enlightened, the 4 or 5 guys that remained. They're so good. Like,
oh, it's absurd.
Like, Bounders, they are eels of 2.0, like in terms of like the amount of damage they can put out.
You just lifted a whole unit of Enlightened and you didn't even roll for the mounts.
Which is arguably like more volume of attacks, but yeah, they potentially were doing mortals on 6s with the bites, and they did the extra bites. Yeah, didn't even have to. A unit of 10 is going to do a lot of damage, so going to run 2 damage on the charge is real nice with these guys.
Might be the spiciest unit in the game now.
The game, maybe not, but
the points?
For the points, that's true. 140 points for 5, real cheap.
I don't know what else can do that much damage at that price point.
Yeah, otherwise I retreated these Bounders out back here, putting them back in the light of the Bad Moon, whether it moves forward or not, so I can rally them on 4-ups next turn with my CP or heroic action. And yeah, just trying to play the game, store the points, kill the things, and win a priority.
Well, that's I'm terrified of.
So we will be jumping to round 3.
3.
That's a 4, so we're to take it. Going into Gloomspite Gitz, turn 3.
The Bad Moon stubbornly remains still, and the Gloomspite battle tactic is desecrate their lands. The Squig Boss uses Beckon the Lunatic Hordes, rallying 3 Stabbas and 2 Bounders, and the Shaman uses their finest hour. The Fungoid casts Hand of Cork, teleporting the Loon Boss on Mangler Squigs. The Squig Boss uses Yellow Lurka on the Bounders. Chaos Spawn redeploys, moving 1 inch. The Bounders deal 4 damage on impact, and the Spawn unleashes hell, but deals no damage. The second unit of Bounders take out the Spawn with their impact mortals. The Loon Boss on Mangler uses Smash to Rubble to destroy the Hearthstone. The Bounders use All-Out Attack and deal 8 damage to the Enlightened. The Enlightened deals just 1 damage, then the other Bounders kill it and deal 6 damage to the Gorgon. Fighting back, the Gorgon kills 3 Bounders, though the Shaman fails to do any damage. Saving their triumph, 4 more Bounders flee to Battle Shock. Not sure what you were thinking there, Jordan. Hitting their bestial foes hard, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Gloomspite turn 3, just rocking and rolling. Actually, it was a good turn. I took out the Xandor, which are the biggest threat to me, but I lost 7 Bounders out of my 1 unit, 3 to damage, and then 4 more to Battle Shock. I could have used my Triumph and decided not to. I just felt like there might have been there might be a bigger time to use it.
Well, you'll get the 4-up rally if they survive.
If they won't survive your turn, so I'll have a chance later to bring them back at half strength.
He hits on a 4.
Yeah, but I mean, he did 6 damage already, so if he can do that again, he'll take them out. But the other unit of 6 Bounders who I rallied, only 2 came back, but despite not being able to pile in, with the impact mortals between both the units, I cleared out a bunch of stuff. Yeah, as we said, finished off that unit of Enlightened. Actually, 1 die surviving did stop me from putting all my attacks into the Gorgon, in which case it probably much
might not have killed him, but you definitely would have bracketed him.
Yeah, it goes down harder. Maybe kills 1 or 2 less guys, and I'm still at 7 or 8 left. So those things are all disappointing. I still got my established screen up over here. I did the awesome heroic action to rally. Don't have to spend any CP, but rally 3 units. Awesome. When they're Moon Clan under the moon on 4-ups. Pretty good. So though I rolled pretty below average on all my rallies, which was unfortunate. But it's still cool. Still a heroic action. Though you're giving up other things, right? Like I gave up the heroic recovery on the Loon Boss on Mangler. Though because he's limping, I couldn't really confidently throw him in anywhere. So I just teleported him to go desecrate the, not the Loon Shrine, the Cow Shrine. So we did that, and it's been desecrated. He's spit and pooped all over it, and there will be a big turn when you think that's denying 3 points later in the game.
And all my rend.
And removing your rend, all the bonus rend, so that puts me up, I got 5 points on my turn, so in a decent position on the table, solid position on the scoreboard, and you're gonna have to do a bunch of damage to come back.
Yes, I plan to.
Okay, well, with that, we'll just jump into Beast of Chaos, turn 3.
All right.
With several monstrosities eager to fight, the Beast of Chaos battle tactic is eye for an eye. The Shaman General and Squig Boss use heroic leadership. The Shaman's Warping Curse deals 2 mortals to the Bounders. The Shaman then fails Mystic Shield, but casts Boon of Mutation with his Sorceress Elixir, dealing 1 mortal to the Bounders. Next, the Bray Shaman fails to cast Wild Rampage. The other Shaman casts Arcane Bolt, then Vicious Stranglehorns on the Stabas. The Spawn shoots at the Loon Boss, but deals no damage. Then the Chimera deals 1 mortal to the Stabas. The Gorgon uses Feast on Flesh, the other Gorgon and Loon Boss both Stomp, and the Chimera uses Thricefold Savagery. Say that 5 times fast. I dare you. The Spawn deals 2 damage to the Loon Boss. 1 wound left, back to his best bracket. The Bounders deal 1 damage to the Gorgon, who deals 3 damage in return and leaves 1 Bounder alive with 1 wound. Again, Ryan? Forgive the improper timing. The Shaman uses a Bray Bass Trumpet to summon 10 Ungors, who charge in and deal 2 damage to the Stabas. The Fungoid attacks the Unger, dealing 5 damage. All in, the Gorgon, Chimera, and Shaman deal a combined 10 damage to the Stabas. Watch out for those nets! The Bounders use Inspiring Presence, the Stabas use the Indomitable Triumph, and a couple Stabas and Unger flee from Battle Shock. Floundering in their attacks, the Beasts of Chaos fail their battle tactic and score just 1 point.
All right, my turn's up. It was devastatingly bad.
It was a little embarrassing.
It's what what we'd say here. So I got some spells off. The one I really wanted to get off failed. I managed to do D6 mortals to these guys, rolled a 2. So
not what you wanted.
Not what I wanted. And then in the combat phase, this Gorgon just whiffs something fierce, leaving a guy in 1 wound, which was
3 damage of the 4 needed.
Yeah, like he has 7 damage, 3 attacks. It was and 2 damage D6 attacks. It was horrendous. So that cost me my battle tactic because I was going for eye for an eye. Over here, these guys all charged in, and because of the -1 to hit, everything there is a 4 up to hit, so they were a 5 up. I all attacked with the 1 guy. He did some damage, but not great.
You did, between the 3 of them, 10 damage in combat.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And
the -1 hit was just so brutal.
6 of it came from him. He did hit 5 times, and then I rolled a couple 1s. Over here, I sent my Spawn over to deal with the Mangler Squig. He whiffed his shooting attack completely, did no damage, and then he charged in and left the Mangler Squig on 1 wound, who promptly swallowed
Put him
him.
to top bracket, actually.
Yeah, so overall, we had the Ungor come in. They charged in, killed a couple. The Goblins did nothing back, but the Fungoid Cave Shaman killed half the unit, and then a couple Battle Shocks. So the Ungors are mostly gone now. Overall, it was a terrible turn, and I scored 1 point.
Yep.
And
not the answer you needed.
Yeah, it was bad. Everywhere where I wanted to accomplish something, the dice were against me this time.
And notable, saving that triumph like I did, let me use it over here, keeps me not only the objective, but these 3 guys tied up in combat where you would have loved to then
I would have loved to
priority
wipe,
and come over here.
Priority, but whatever. I didn't expect to wipe them, but I hoped I'd kill enough to take the objective, so I was hoping to get 4 points this turn.
Yeah.
And I got 1. I don't know if this is recoverable because I now also can't get my grand strategy. But let's go to a roll-off and see if I at least double turn you. Probably not.
That's a 4 for the Gitz. We're going to Gloomspite Gitz, turn 4.
Man.
As the bad moon ascends for their victory, the Gloomspite battle tactic is follow the moon. The Loon Boss fails heroic leadership, and the Zangor Shaman fails heroic leadership. The Fungoid miscasts Hand of Gork, suffering 3 mortal wounds. The Loon Boss deals 3 mortals on impact to the Bray Shaman, and the Bounders deal 3 to the Gorgon. The Loon Boss stomps the Bray Shaman to death. Whoa! That is a rough trip there, buddy. The Bounders use all-out attack and finish off the Gorgon. the Ungor deal 1 damage to the Fungoid. Fucking Fungoid. Then are finished off by the Stavas. Exulting in the light of the bad moon, the Gitz complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Gloomspite Gitz turn 4, winning the priority was fortuitous. Let me do a bunch of things. Firstly, whip the Loon Boss on Mangler. Oh, okay, best part. The sun moon finally ascended over the entire board. Screw the sun. Meaning that, so everything was affected by the bad moon finally. Finally moved out of this quarter. I gave him run and charge, let him zip over there, kill your Bray Shaman to take that objective. Not that I needed it, but it was just bonus. Because I actually just managed to keep enough Grots Stabas within 9 of this objective of the center to hold on to that one. So that worked out for me. I retreated the one Bounder with 1 wound remaining over here so I can rally him on a 4-up on Ryan's turn. And these 5 guys finished off the other Gorgon. So pretty effective besides taking a miscast for 3 mortals and then 1 more damage from the Ungors before killing them. So yeah, can't complain. Definitely is putting the game out of reach here. So Ryan, we were just kind of talking out what you would do on turn 4. And you had to play.
Yeah, I was gonna. This one's mine with my general here.
Yep.
Come over and get this guy. We rolled it out. He would have got him. So.
Yeah, just finished off the last wound.
So I would have got that, but I would have been holding 1 objective at most.
Well, you would have done that one.
Oh, I would have got this one.
So you would have hold 2. So looking at potentially 4 points on your turn 4, and then
priority
into 5. I win it. I'll take it. I think these guys can go finish off the Shaman that's over there.
Yeah.
The Bounders and whatever ones I rally back over
Kill
2
this,
turns.
and then this stalemate lasts forever.
Yeah, so I would get 5 points again. Let's say at best you're getting 3 on your turn 5 or something. Which again, this is like was already mathematically out of reach. That's why we're trying to.
And I'm not getting my grand strategy.
Yeah,
you are.
And it's just little combats aren't really too exciting to roll out when it's stuff hitting on 5s against Stabas. Not very exciting to roll, but exciting for the Gitz here who take the win.
Yeah, that was a stomping.
Yeah, so I think as we said earlier, Bounders are good.
Bounders are absurdly good.
Yeah, so we don't have a huge Gitz collection. The list or the Beast of Chaos we were born was like we had no list variation options. Wasn't optimal. An optimal build necessarily. We got our first look at Zandor, Enlightened, and some of the other pieces. But the monsters like Wild Cheap, hitting on 4s.
Yeah, my whole army hit some 4s, and half your army was -1 to hit. So that's a tough hill to climb.
Yes, didn't end up going in their favor. Both of our armies are fairly fragile. Obviously, the Stabas kind of have a little resiliency. Just in numbers and the rallying and whatnot.
Yeah, well, the rally means even though you're fragile, you recover from it. Whereas when my stuff's gone, it's just gone.
Yeah.
And that's tough. I lost resources fast here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're Enlightened, like, I think 1 unit all the way back in your deployment got smacked bottom of turn 1, and the other unit came out once and then died, right?
And they didn't even kill their target.
We both had the speed. Yeah, that's true.
Because he was -1 to hit, and I was 4s to hit.
Yeah. Yeah, so bit of a rough one here, but there's definitely strength in the Beast of Chaos book. Again, not optimal what we had out today.
And I don't even think this was necessarily the best look for this build. I failed a lot of 2-up to wound rolls, which would have changed a lot. Like there's a lot of stuff living on 1 wound.
Yes.
Where I failed some 2-up wound rolls to finish them.
Yeah, well, even him, like the opportunity to desecrate, rallying unit guys back, and denying battle tactics with that 1 wound.
Like it's not all dice, but in this game, definitely was feeling the dice weren't on my side.
Yeah, I mean, especially like the -1 when you already hit on 4s, like you say, and you're. Yeah, we all know how swingy 4-ups can be sometimes.
Yep, and I was on the rough side of that. And then I think on top of that, it's just a tough matchup for this army to begin with, so it was just harder.
Yeah, speed, we have good damage, we have solid rend, and we don't need to herd stone for it.
And this army doesn't have the resilience to take a double turn on the chin, because it's just like once its pitiful screens are gone, you're just taking like 300-point hammers off the board.
Yeah, I am excited. So Neil, our commission painter, who's working on all our stuff right now, our Beast of Chaos army, we're working on a bunch of Bulgors, so they have a bit more meat to them.
Yeah, I think they're a shining star in this book after reading through it. We'll yet to be seen if they're super competitive, but they hit way harder than any of this stuff.
Yeah, Zandor are good, but again,
4s to hit.
Yeah, that's a downside for sure.
So.
But otherwise, this was our first look on the channel at Gloomspite Gitz, but we've actually already recorded another Gloomspite Gitz game that'll be coming out this coming Thursday for our channel members. So if you want to see some more Gloomspite Gitz in action, Carl actually takes them out in an awesome, epic game that he and I played with a few different tools in the toolbox coming out for the Gloomspite Gitz. So if you want to check that out, it's definitely was a great match, and we appreciate any support. So. Guys, otherwise, we'll wrap things up here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon in another video.
Nice.